Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love, family. I am Melinda, also known as Queen Bee, and this is Numeralytics. And we are here to talk about 2026. We finally made it. We all made it through 2025. It was a tumultuous year. We know it was a 9 year. So we've all made it out of that storm, and we are here to discuss the astronumerology forecast, the energy for 2026, who that's going to benefit, who is not going to benefit, and who, needs to do some work and what they need to do. So before we get started, let's get our sponsors up on the screen. Our first sponsor is the Unread Book Review with Nick and Rue. Of course, this takes place every other Saturday on YouTube at Mr. Westbrook's class and at Ma Wu Lisa 4610. So make sure you're checking out Nick, astronumerologist, and Ma Wu Lisa every other Saturday for their unread book review. And then we have the Shasu Experience. This is Kanaya Shasu. She is the sound healing architect. She is an astronumerologist, and her channel is Numerality. So you can go ahead and check her out over there on her channel. Okay. And then just one second. Sorry, I had a problem getting this up. And then we have our sponsor, Portia Cooper. Of course, she's out of the Soul Card Studio. And Portia has some beautiful candles and beautiful journals that accompany your number. So make sure you go check the Queen out over there at Soul Card Studio. Make sure you are subscribed to her YouTube. She does weekly energy reports that are super helpful that look at astrology, numerology, and cardology. She is offering a 20% off discount off of her candles and journals right now if you use the code Queen Bee. So make sure you head over there to check Portia out. And then last but not least, we have Big E Astrology. We are sponsored by the Knowledge is Love Tribe community. This is a community of like-minded people who share like-minded things in the community. So make sure you go check out Big E Astrology at YouTube. You're subscribed to him and you are getting acquainted with the Knowledge is Love Tribe community. So those are our sponsors. I want to really thank them for being a sponsor on Numeralytics and rocking with Queen Bee. And I also really want to take this time to thank you subscribers, all the new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing. I hope, that you are learning something here on the channel. Of course, if you have any suggestions, you can text them to me on the Moon line at 302-492-7722. Haven't said that in a while. So go ahead and hit me up on the Moon line or hit us up at numeralytics.net. Of course, we have our new whammy calculator up there. So we have some numerology tools up there for you to make sure you're prepared for 2026 because it's going to be a very exciting year and I want to make sure everyone's prepared. So we have tools up there where you can get your most of your core numbers on that tool. And then we also have where if you're ever unsure about what the universal day is, you can go on the calendar and look at the cosmic calendar to see what universal energy we are in for that day. And then if you want to go even further and know about your personal energy for that day, you can subscribe to the calendar, and it's $5 a month. And that will give you, of course, the universal energy along with your personal energy. So you'll get your whole upcycle report. You'll also get the moon's placement and how that moon is resonating with you for that time period. And you can look any date that you want to look up on this calendar. So make sure you guys head over to numeralytics.net to check out the new website, check out all the new tools. We have our Astro-Numerology birthday cards on there and the bears, which I will probably show toward the end of the show. But right now we are here to talk about 2026, and I couldn't be more excited that 2025 is over. 2025, of course, we know was a 9 universal year, and I am a life path 9. But it was a tumultuous year for me because that year is in opposition to my birthday number, my individual frequency. So there was some opposition, but there was also a lot that I learned in this year, some eye opening moments, and some things that surprised me and some things that don't surprise me that happened this year. So it is what it is. The other part to this year, before I get started into the official forecast, I want to talk to you guys about, because here I always talk about your personal energy factor, your up cycle, where your personal cycle falls in line with the universal cycle, and what that energy, intermixing of that energy, how that shows up for you. So, one thing that I think I'm going to start doing in these forecasts, I'm going to start incorporating my actual personal experiences from the previous month or, year or whatever energy we're looking at, whatever time frame, because I'm always one cycle ahead of the universal energy. So while you guys and we're all collectively going to be experiencing the one universal year when 2026 starts, I have already been through my one personal year in 2025. So it's really interesting because I always have kind of a jump start on the energy. So I think I'm going to start sharing some of those experiences with you guys to get you guys ready for that upcoming energy. So right now, of course, we're talking about the universal year. So I would have to talk to you about my personal year for 2025. So for 2025, I was in a 9-1 upcycle. So that's a 9 universal year and a one personal year upcycle, which can feel kind of um, paradoxical, right? It can feel like weird because on one hand, the universe is ending things. Things are transforming. People are getting rid of things that no longer serve them, even myself collectively. But at the same time, I'm tasked with making sure that I'm stepping out there on my own, doing some new things, having clarity and having movement about my actions. So it can feel kind of like a paradox when you're in a 9-1 upcycle. So anyone with a personal energy factor of one, like me, was in a one personal year in 2025. Um, and to get your personal energy factor, you simply just add your month and day of birth. So if you were born on September 3rd, right, you would add 9 plus 3 and you would get 12. So your personal energy factor, you would break that down, added it together. 1 plus 2 equals 3. So you would always be 3 cycles ahead of time. But we won't get too deep into that right now. So I just wanted to say that that was going to be something new I'm going to do. So right now, I'll talk about my one personal year. So it's really funny because some numerologists will look at the personal year, um, that it starts with the universal year, it starts in January when a universal year starts. And I am one of those numerologists. I do believe that it coincides with the universal energy. So I do believe every January 1st, when that universal year changes over, I do believe our personal year changes over. But what I will say, because some numerologists think that the personal year starts on your birthday that year. So what I will say is that around my birthday is when I really did feel my 1 year really kick in high gear. I did feel my one energy throughout the entire year, but the clarity that the 1 year brings, I didn't really get that until after my birthday. So I would say in August, I really started having clarity about what I wanted to do and what I needed to do really over what I wanted to do to set myself up in my one personal year to make sure that I'm setting myself up, for the next 9 years. That's what the 1 year is about. And that's what we're going to be talking about, obviously, in the video today. This is so important, you guys. This 1 year is not just it's not just starting a 1 year. It's not just a reset, what some people are saying. This is so important that you do the right steps this year because this 1 year is starting a whole brand new 1 to 9 year epicycle. Okay. So the things that we do in this year, the things that we start in this year, are going to be the things that follow us throughout the rest of the cycle. Okay. Doesn't mean that they're always going to be the things that we finish the cycle with, but these are going to be the things that are going to follow us. So it's going to be up to us of how we nurture those things and nourish those things. What we do proactively and actively to move those things along. the steps that we're taking to ensure that those things, do prosper. So this is really interesting. The first part of the year, I knew I had to do these things, and I just wasn't really sure of what I was supposed to do, or what I actually wanted to do to make sure that I was solidifying that 1 year. So, again, around my birthday, I dropped the Balancing Elemental Energy journals. So if you want to get a journal, they are on Amazon under my name, Melinda Valentine, or you can go to the website numeralytics.net and go to the journals page, and you can purchase it through going through the website. But I came out with the journals in August, which I was very proud of. I was very proud to do the journals, and I'm very happy for the journals. And they did really well for me this past year, 2025. And I know that they'll only go up from there. So, one thing that I want to say about whatever you do in the 1 year, don't expect that you're going to do it in the 1 year and you're going to get the result right then and there. It just doesn't happen like that. You have to understand that whatever we put out there, think of it as a baby. Think of it that you gave birth to a baby. When you give birth to a baby, what is it? It's a newborn. What does it need? It needs your attention. It needs your energy. It needs to be fed. It needs to be changed. It needs to be monitored. It needs to be watched, and it needs to be nourished. It needs to be loved. It needs to be cherished, and these are the same things that you have to do with your ideas. When you get your ideas, when you get creative, when you want to start something new, whether it's a business, a relationship, or whatever it is, when you're starting it, it's in the baby phase. So it's up to you to nourish and grow that thing into what you want it to become. And be patient, guys, because in the 1 year, I know it's all about go get in it, but you have to have patience because everything works in cycles. So when you start it in the 1 year, you have the whole 9 years to grow this thing. So just make sure that you keep that in mind. So I just wanted to share that. And I'll say, like, around August is when I really gained clarity of the direction that I wanted to go. And I really went after it, and I just looked at where I was, and I looked at the things that I needed. I needed a new website. My domain was expiring, and my previous website I had through Wix, which was fine. It wasn't that bad, but I think they're a little expensive, but that's neither here nor there. And it just didn't really give me the autonomy that I wanted with my site and to really do a lot of different things that I wanted to do. So I ended up going ahead and just building my own site from scratch. Like, I built it from hand up from scratch. So these are the types of things that can happen in this 1 year. You do something new, you learn a new skill, you build a new website, you come up with new products. So these are the things that I was doing, and really they really start to take hold in August after my birthday. So I find that interesting. Now, also, I will say then in October, which October, we numerologists, we like to call that like a sneak peek or a preview season for the upcoming year, because whatever energy October brings is going to be the energy for the following year. Okay. It's going to be the universal energy for the following year. And you're also going to be in whatever personal energy that you're going to be in for that following year. It's giving you a preview of that energy. So in October, it was preview season. So in October, we had a one universal month, of course, and I was in an 11 personal month. So in that 11 personal month, I got so many spiritual downloads. I got so many ideas and creative things that were coming to me. And the main thing that stuck with me was to do the Astro-Numerology birthday cards. I love cards. I love writing cards for people. I love receiving cards, obviously. I like also like the idea of astrology birthday cards. So I always used to love when I would get astrology birthday cards. And now, being a numerologist, I'm like, I've never seen a numerology birthday card. So, Spirit just gave me the idea. It was like, yeah, you've never seen one because you didn't do them yet. Right. So, Spirit was telling me that. So, I had to get that together. So, I got the plan together and I got the cards done. And we got some other accessories to go with them, which you can check out on the website. Please go visit the site, numeralytics.net. There's plenty you can do there. You can get your core numbers. You can do all types of things on the site. You can interact with me. So please go visit the site. So I just saying that to say that when we start the one universal year, I mean, it's not like you're going to wake up on January 1st and you're just going to have all this clarity about you. No, it's not going to work that way. First of all, there's a little shadow period. So there is a little cusp period. So I would say from January up to March, there's still going to be a little bit of a hangover residual of that 9 years. So, still maybe wrapping up some loose ends. But by time April comes, it's going to be off and running with whatever changes you want to make. Those are going to be possible for you. So, there is a lot that goes into this. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. I'm hoping not to keep you guys too long for this. And if I do, I do. You know how it is. But you can watch it in different time frames or whatever you want to do. But it's important. It's important that we talk about 2026. We talk about what that means for us. Okay. What does that mean as a collective for us that we're going into a one universal year? We're starting a whole new epicycle, okay, of 1 to 9. Numerology, we have plenty of cycles. And this epicycle is the universal cycle, which also coincides with your personal cycle that you go through throughout your lifetime along your life path. Okay. So these are the types of things that we are really getting into with this. So, of course, we know 2026 is not just another year. It's the beginning of the new 9 year cycle. Guys, aren't you excited? And numerology tells us that this is a universal year. This is a year of initiation, a year of new beginnings, a year of leadership, a year of being dynamic, right? Stepping out there on your own, having faith in yourself, trusting in yourself. And then the astrology of it also comes into play because that tells us how these initiations and how these new beginnings will unfold across time. So it's really interesting when we go to look at everything together and you can see how these things work together to coincide with a lot of the events that are going to be taking place this year for you personally and for the collective. So it's going to be interesting. And we'll talk about some of those things as we go along here. So what you're about to hear is not a prediction for entertainment. This is a timeline. Okay. These are going to be pressure points. These are moments for you to choose action. Okay. You need to choose action this year because in a 1 year, if you get a feeling, act on it, go make that new idea. Be productive and be intentional about what you're being productive about. So your actions are going to really propel you forward in this year because really it's about having faith too in that 1 year. It's about having faith and stepping out there on your own. So if you don't do that, that's going to be detrimental to you in a 1 year. Okay. So nothing is going to be stay the same for long, okay? So you want to turn those ideas into actions. You want to turn those intentions into consequences, okay? So that's what we're looking for. Ideas into actions, right? Intentions into consequences. So these are the things that are going to be fruitful for people and we know what the numerology brings, right? It brings us that energy of the one. We're just going to start going ahead and talking about this 1 year. And really, why does this 1 year feel different? Why is everybody talking about it? What's so different about it, right? So, like I said, it begins a brand new 1 to 9 universal cycle. This is not like a continuation year from last year. No, this is a whole new reset. It's a reset of initiation. Okay. It's the end of an era and it's the beginning of a new era and there's no going back. You cannot go back into that past and change anything. All you can do is look at the energy you're in and move forward with that energy. Okay. So let's get into it. And, I talked about it a little bit. So, what is a one universal year? The one universal year is the collective energetic atmosphere for the calendar year ahead, or whatever calendar year you're looking at. It's going to be the collective energy in the atmosphere and the climate of that year. This universal year can affect global systems as well as personal systems. Okay. And this is going to set the tone for us for how these events are going to unfold over the course of the year. Okay. So now we know what a universal year is. How do you get the universal year? So if you watched any of my forecast, to get anything you want to get in numerology, most likely you have to add it unless you're looking for challenges. So what you do is you add the numbers of the year together. So when we look at 2026, when we add 2026 together, that's 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1. I'm sorry, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6 equals 10. And then when we do 1 plus 0, 1 plus 0 equals 1. That's why 2026 is a one universal year. That's just how simple it is. So, but what we want to do is we want to break that down a little bit more than just it's just a one universal year. We're going to talk about that one, of course. We know it's new beginnings, it's being bold, it's betting on yourself, it's doing something new, it's a new opportunity for a career, a new opportunity for travel, for business, for financial endeavors. It's a new time for you to really get serious and get clear about your intentions and your goals and set them into motion. This is a planting of a seed year. Okay. This is you planting your seeds. Plant your seeds for what you want to see grow over the next 9 years. This is what it's all about. Okay. So when we look at 2026, we're going to break it down, even, we're going to break it down to the last compound. So what we're going to do is we're first going to look at the number, a couple of the numbers within 2026, and then we're just going to break it all the way down. So when we look at 2026, and this is really important, I want to look at the 20, and I'm going to look at the 26, and then we're going to look at the 10, and then we're going to look at the 1 and the 0. Okay. And then I'm also going to throw some of that 2 and 6 in there because these are all of the energies that are going to be encompassing us for this year. Okay. So when we look at the number 20, that is the number of awakening, you guys. It's literally called the awakening. It's a number of great purpose, new plans, new ideals. It's like a call to action. It's like your soul's being called to action, but it's for a greater purpose, a cause or duty, something greater than yourself. And normally something, it should be something spiritual. Anytime you see the zero anywhere or behind anything, zero amplifies things. It's also asks you to develop the spiritual nature of that thing. So, it can be an amplifier, but it's also asking you to look at the spiritual side. So, like I said, that 20 is a call to action, new plans, new purpose, new ambitions for some great purpose, cause, or duty. Okay. That goes beautifully with the 1 year. We're supposed to be doing something new, a new purpose, a new plan, a new ambition. So already the year is speaking to itself, right? Now let's get into that 26. Now that 26 is not a fortunate number. It does foreshadow disasters brought about by bad partnerships, bad associations. Everybody don't have your back, okay? Everybody that you think got your back don't got your back. I'm just here to tell you, I have seen everything that you can see under the sun with people who you think got your back, backstab you, whether that be through work, whether that be through like a personal relationship, or whether that be through like a romantic relationship. So that 26, it's letting you know to be careful. Don't listen to people who have bad speculation. Don't listen to people who are giving you bad advice, or if the person is trying to get you to trust them too much, to talk to them too much. You should be wary of that because people be having ulterior motives, okay? And sometimes you're not privy to the ulterior motive that they have up their sleeve. So in this 1 year, I'm saying that to say you should be doing this new purpose, new plans, new ambitions, this call to action on your own, by yourself. Cut the noise out. Cut that noise out from the people in the peanut gallery, from those people who claim they're your best friend, from those people who claim they're this and claim they're that and claim they got your back genuinely. Cut that noise out from people and just do you. This is a year not to worry about those people. It's not a year to focus on nobody else. This is a year to focus on you and getting whatever plans and ideas that you want to get off the ground. It's a great year for you to do this in this 1 year. I just say that to say, just be careful about, who you listen to and who you trust because everyone's not trustworthy and everyone's not genuine. And I'm just letting you know that from straight experience. Now, so we got the 20 and the 26 out the way. So now let's look at that number 10. The number 10 is a fortunate number. So that's why I know that this is going to be a great year for most of us. It's a very fortunate number. That number's known as the Wheel of Fortune, right? So the Wheel of Fortune, that number is really, it's like a number of esteem. It's like esteem, honor, faith, self-confidence in yourself. It does denote that whatever you want your name to be known for, it'll be known for. So if you want your name to be known for good and you're doing good things and you're doing good things in a community, you're going to have success with that and people are going to know your name for good for the things you do this year. But if you do bad things and you are being underhanded and evil and those type of things, then your name's going to be known for bad. So just be careful about the energy that you put out there, because don't think that other people can't pick up on your energy. A lot of people can read energy. A lot of people notice every detail. So you should be careful when you're dealing with people, that you are aware of that. And you shouldn't be trying to be underhanded with people anyway. That's not a good trait to have, no matter what your number is. So, this is a year, like I said, you shouldn't even be focusing on others. You should be focused on yourself, but make sure that you have intention behind your focus, and make sure that your plans are good plans, because you don't want to be evil and bad. Maybe you do, I don't know. But I'm just saying, I know I don't. So that's the advice I'm giving. So then let's look at that one, okay? Because we know that 10 breaks down to that one. So that one is very bold, okay? The one is bold. It don't wait for nobody's opinion. Like, it's represents the sun. The sun don't wait for you to tell it to come out to shine today. That's the energy of the one. The sun is going to come out every day, regardless of what you think, regardless of how hot you think it is, regardless of how much you think it's behind the clouds and it's not giving you enough sunlight. Regardless of what your thoughts are about the sun, it comes out every day. It shines on the earth and it brings life to our planet. It is a part of our great source of life that we get and of nourishment on this planet. And it does that every day, whether you like it or not, whether you got an opinion about it or not. That's what the sun does. That's what this number one is asking you to do. It's asking you to act. It's asking you to be bold and ambitious. Initiate yourself, initiate your identity. Who are you? Do you know who you are? So if you don't know who you are, that's when you come to me, to numeralytics.net. You can book the keys chart. It's the simplest reading. I actually have a discount on the keys chart right now. It's a 20% discount, but you have to text me to get that discount. Okay. So again, what direction do you want to take yourself in for the next 9 years? You know, are you a leader? Are you stepping out there on your own? Are you doing what you need to do? These are the types of things that the 1 year is going to bring up for you. Okay. And then let's look at that zero. Okay. So that zero is, like I said, zero is an amplifier. So zero is going to always amplify whatever number is in front of it. Okay. But again, the zero is always asking you to develop your spiritual side. Okay. It's asking you to look at the spiritual side of things and develop that spiritual side of things. So this is really that, in essence, this is the 1 year. This is what we have to look forward to. All of those things that I just stated, being awakened to a new ideal, a new purpose, a call of action. Okay. You're being called to act for a great purpose. You shouldn't take speculation from others. Okay. You shouldn't take their advice, because people don't have your best interest at heart at the end of the day. And I know that that's hard to hear sometimes, but we need to hear the truth sometimes, because we sometimes get rose colored glasses for either certain people, places, or things. And, everything, nothing's perfect in this world. So as much esteem as you put into others is how much they will disappoint you when they act in a different way than what you're expecting them to act. So just be careful of that. Be careful of that. Energy is definitely present out there. So let's talk about that power of the one. Like I said, this is a new beginning. Like I know that might sound cliche, but it is the truth. It's a new beginning. Like, you need to begin something new. This is a start of a new era. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. This is about creating, it's about being clear, about having clarity and direction, and that clarity is gonna come. And I actually feel like for some people that clarity may show up for you around mid-year, but for different people, it'll be different times. So what I want you to do is make sure that you watch the personal energy factor video that we're doing to follow this up. So we're going to be looking at all the personal energy factors for 2026 to look at what upcycle you're going to be in. So just go ahead and check that video out if you want to see exactly how the upcycle affects you. But yeah, this is a reset, guys. So this is asking you to be a leader of yourself, be initiatory, be proactive. It's like proactivity, it's like productive proactivity, and then the actions that you do will be rewarded. They may not feel like they're going to be rewarded right away, but they're going to get rewarded. So just make sure you're taking action and you're being very proactive about the things that you want to do in this one universal year. This is all of our energy. It doesn't belong to anybody. Just like these esoteric sciences don't belong to anybody, these are universal sciences. They're universal principles. And the better and the sooner we all understand that, the sooner that we can all stop looking at everybody else and looking at each other and looking inward to ourselves to make better decisions for ourselves so we can have better interactions with our world and with the other people in the world. That's just what we got to do. It's a new one year, so we really need to start this thing off right, you guys. So let's talk about who does this one universal year benefit. So this one universal year is going to benefit those people if you're like a Leo, if you're a Leo or an Aquarius or an Aries, this one universal year is going to benefit you. If you were born on a date that adds up to the 1st, the 4th, the 10th, 13th, 19th, the 22nd, the 28th, or the 31st of the month, if you were born on any of those days, no matter what zodiac sign you are, this is an important year for you. It's significant. And I want to make sure that I say significant. I don't want to say good. I don't want to say great because it's not always good. It's not always great, but it is significant, and significant can mean good or significant can mean bad. So, again, we live in a dual universe that's based on duality and polarity. So, it could come either way for you, but it will be significant where it will be a milestone for you in your life. It'll be a memory that you'll have from this year. If you are Leo or Aquarius or a minor way of Aries or born again on the 1st, the 4th, the 10th, the 13th, the 19th, the 22nd, the 28th, or the 31st of the month. Also, if you're a life path one or if your expression number is a one. So that means if all of your letters in your name add up to a one, that means your destiny is a one. And this is going to be a significant year for you as well. Okay. The other people that this year is going to benefit are going to be those people who are self-starters. And everyone that I just named, you definitely should be doing this. So this guidance right now is for Leo's, Aquarius, and Aries, life path one, expression one, or those born on the 1st, 4th, 10th, 13th, 19th, 22nd, 28th, or 31st of the month. Be a self-starter this year. Be an initiator. Don't wait around for to get picked out the crowd. You be the one doing the picking. Okay. You have to lead yourself this year. And this is also advice for everyone else too, but especially for those people that I named. Okay. Be visionary, be a pioneer of yourself. Okay. This is your year. I mean, this is your year. I can't say it any plainer than that. It's a one year. All the energies with you this year. Leo is also very important this year because Jupiter is going to be entering Leo this year. So it's important. That means that there's going to be some abundance for all Leos, some growth, some expansion, some happiness, some positivity is going to be coming your way. So if you're a Leo or Aquarius and you've been down, July is going to be a pretty good month for you. Okay. So these are just the things that you have to look forward to. Be an independent thinker. Okay. You got to be an independent thinker this year. It's no more, what do you think? Well, what did you think about this? Who cares? Who cares what people like or don't like about what you did? They're not paying your bills. They don't help you when you need help. You can't call on them in a time of need. So why are you worrying about their opinion? They're nobody to you. Independent thinking, think for yourself, be visionary, be a pioneer, and see those people who are willing to lead this year, lead themselves without the validation of others. You guys are the ones that are going to win this year. This is your year. So if that's you and you know you have that energy about you, you're going to win this year. Flat out, hands down. So these are the queen bee jewels that I am giving for this one universal year. All right, so let's get into who the one universal year is going to be a challenge for. Because, like I just got done saying, there's polarity in the numbers, there's duality in the numbers. So, why it favors some, there are going to be others that they may find some challenges in this year, right? So let's look at the people who the one universal year is going to be a challenge for. The one universal year may be challenging for those who are Tauruses or Libras. or if you're born on the 6th, the 15th, or the 24th of any month, or if you're a life path 6 or an expression 6. That means all the letters in your name add up to a 6. And if you don't know what your expression number is, go to numeralytics.net right now. Look where it says numerology aspects, whammy, and open a calculator and put your information in so you can get your life path, your expression, your soul urge, okay, and your individual frequency, okay? Those are out of 5 of your core numbers. You can go to my website right now and get them for free. All you have to put in is your email address. Okay. And if I'm giving you that information for free on my website, it should tell you how important it is that I want you to have it. But it also should tell you that the information that you're getting there, while it's a lot and it's going to really give you it's going to give you clarity. It's going to give you like a springboard to start. But what you then need to do is book a session with me so we can look at everything that's behind those numbers, what they really mean, how they showing up in your chart, and how that affects you. So make sure you come get a session with me so we can go ahead and interpret your whammy, and you can book all that on my services page. So let's get back to the Who to One Universal Year challenges. I'll start that over a little bit because I kind of rambled off about the whammy. So the challenges for the one universal year are going to be those who are Tauruses or Libras, again, or those born on the 6th, the 15th, or the 24th of any month. Also, if you're a life path 6 or if you're expressing a number 6, could be some challenges for you this year. Also, if you're a personal energy factor number 6. So if your month of birth plus your day of birth equals to a 6, you are going to be in a critical cycle for 2026. You're going into a 1-7 up cycle. You're going into a 7 personal year. So we will be doing a video breakdown on the different personal year cycles. So I'm not going to go into that too far right now, but just know if you are a personal energy factor number 6 and you're going into a 7 personal year, you definitely need to watch the video or book a session with me. You definitely need to do it prior to your year starting so you can get yourself on the right track and know the right things to do during this year and the things not to do during this year. So, for all of those people that I just discussed, you guys definitely need to avoid being indecisive, avoid needing the approval or being too dependent on others. You should avoid being clingy or clinging to like an expired identity or something that's no longer serving you, and waiting for people to choose you. Choose yourself. Bet on yourself. It's a 1 year. Like you have to choose yourself this year. Okay. So that's who the year is going to challenge. Now, let's talk about it because we went from this 9 into this 1 year. Again, 2025, it cleared things out. It should have cleared things out. It should have closed up cycles. You should have gotten rid of what doesn't serve you. If you don't, I would tell you these first 3 months in January is your chance. Like this is your last chance, last call for energy recall, right? Last call for getting rid of that energy that no longer serves you. You got until March. After March, the cusp is over. The real new year starts in March. We know that. So you have until March to like really clear this stuff out and get yourself together to make sure that you're starting your 2026 off on the right foot. And again, we're like I said, we moved out of that 2025. That was a Mars cycle. Okay. 2025 equals a 9. 9 is represented by the planet Mars. So we were in a number 9 cycle. We were in a Mars cycle. So, there was like maybe a lot of aggression during this cycle, a lot of confrontation, some impatience, awkward accidents and injuries and things like that could have been going down this year. We've seen a lot of this different things with the different fires, the planes falling out the sky, and just so many different things that are associated with that 9 really happened in this 9 year. We may do another video to look at that, but I don't want to get too down in the dumps about that right now because we are in a new cycle now. We've gone from Mars, we're back at the sun, you guys. Yay! The sun is warm, it's nourishing, it provides growth, it provides clarity, it's light, so it clears the path. And the one thing about the sun, though, it can burn you. So you do have to be careful, don't overburn or outburn yourself in this cycle. So this is great energy that we're entering into. Now, 2026, like I said, it's going to demand for you to do something new, like whether it's your identity, the way you think, the way you do, your being, a job, a career, travel somewhere new, meet someone new. All of these things are on the horizon for you this year. Old structures can no longer be carried forward. And that's really what I want to hit home for us guys. We can't go back. We can't go back to 2025. We can't go back to 2017, our previous one universal year. But what we can do is we can look back at that year to see how things unfolded that year because it may be a little similar this year with a little like a kick up a notch, right? It's like a kicking up a notch because we've grown, we've learned from those experiences through that 1 to 9 cycle. And now we're starting a brand new one. So we get to take all of those lessons, all those experiences, and really put them into the plans and actions on the call to action of what we want to do for 2026. So again, 2026 is going to bring leadership and authority changes, guys. Now, this is going to be for all systems, right? This is going to be like for governments, all types of corporations, global systems. The old leaders are going to fall away. Like this old antiquated way of democracy and politics that we do, it's going to fall. It may not be immediately in the 1 year, but I do think it's going to be in the 1 year, and I think it's going to happen around June or July. It's going to be a lot of action this year, a lot of activity. The old leaders, the old systems are falling. It's a pivotal year in world history, astrologically and numerically. So we have a lot of different things that are going to be happening this year in both sciences, in both realms, as above, so below as above. Okay. So these things that are happening in the heavens are going to be affecting us on earth. And we know that from looking into history. We know that from looking at when these things happen in history, right? So this is what we really need to make sure that we are honoring and paying attention to. New voices are going to step forward. There's going to be new leadership, new styles of leadership. We're going to see different cultures and different ethnicities and diversities coming into power. One thing about this year is it's really going to show the corruption of power. So the people who have been abusing power and being corrupt in power, they're out. You're out. Sorry, you're out. So if that's you, you're out. Your time is done. So if you can't change yourself to rise up to an awakening to a new ideal in this 1 year, you're out, right? And we the people are gonna it's gonna be up to us. The power is coming back to us. And it's gonna be up to us to choose how we want to move forward. We're gonna be able to choose our leaders or choose to lead ourselves either way. And the other thing that's really gonna hit home in this 1 year is your authenticity, right? Like this, like I just got done talking about the sun a little while ago. Like the sun is authentic. The sun don't have to like show off for you. It doesn't have to do a backflip. It doesn't have to prove anything to you. The sun is the sun and it comes out and shines whether you like it or not. So, and it's authentic, it's itself. So that's what's going to be rewarded this year. Your authentic self, your originality, foundation laying, seed planting. Even when I say be original, because they like to say nothing new under the sun, which it's not. There's a lot of things that are not going to be new under the sun, but make things your own, right? At the end of the day, just be authentic in who you are. Okay. Take things to the next level for the things that you're doing. And that's just it. We're going to leave that there. And again, this year is a year of planting seeds, guys. It's not a year to harvest the seed. Okay. You're not here to see like you planted a tree and now it's a huge, apple tree in your front yard. If you plant the apple tree, you have to give it time. You have to nurture it. You have to water it. You have to watch it every day. You have to make sure it's getting enough sunlight. You have to make sure you're putting fertilizer in there. You have to make sure when it does bud, and it gets too big, you got to reroute it and move it somewhere else where it can have more room to grow. So, this is a foundation setting year, you guys. So, it matters more for you to set your foundation than it does for you to kind of be speedy and just trying to beat people to the punch. Stop worrying about other people, yo. Like, honestly, who gives a damn about who else is doing what? Like, everybody's human. We're all here. We all have our different things to bring. If y'all don't know me, I'm Queen B. That's what I say. Kings up and queens up. That's what that means. I made that up. Yeah, I made that up from scratch. Kings up and queens up. That's what that means. That means kings and queens understand their power, their position, and their purpose. Okay. Do you understand that about yourself? Because if you do understand that about yourself, then you won't be worried about what other people were doing. You're not looking over your shoulder to see what your counterpart is doing. Matter of fact, when they put their stuff out, you should be clapping for them and you should be supporting them because when you put something out, you want them to do the same for you. So this is the way that I'm telling y'all, you're going to have to start moving a certain way in this new year because this old way of being like slick, underhanded, and not really being authentic, you're going to be outed. You're going to be outed. And again, so we're planting seeds, and those seeds are going to mature over the next 1 to 9 cycle. Now, just a few things to think about. We want to be independent, but we don't want to be isolated this year, okay? Because the one can bring on kind of that isolated feeling energy. You are going to be on your own, but you don't want to isolate yourself. You still want to be cooperative. Again, we are going in a year that has two twos in it and a six. So that means you do have to have some cooperation. You should be understanding of others and you should use tact and diplomacy. You definitely should be doing those things to represent those twos that are in the year. And then do those things with your family, your home, and your community, okay, and your business. Use tact, use all those things I just said with the home, family, and community. That's how you're gonna. So we didn't broke down 2026 every which way from Sunday. We broke down every number that's included in there. So this is just the things that you have to do to really be successful in this year. Ego driven separation creates struggle. So don't be too egotistical. You're still living on earth. You're not the best in the world at everything. So don't be too egotistical. Just have enough balance and be confident enough in yourself that you don't need others to validate what you're doing. Because the moment you start basing your accomplishments on the validation of others, that's going to depress you. That's going to depress you. Because if you're doing something that others don't like or others are envious of, they're going to down talk it, and that's going to put you in down energy, and then you're not going to get your stuff off the ground. Just be quiet, put your head down and work and be active with yourself. Okay. And make sure you're using your discernment. Discernment is key. Okay. Discernment on who you're dealing with. Pay attention. Pay attention to what people say to you. Pay attention to how they say it to you. Pay attention to when you're doing something great that you're very proud of and you bring that to them and they're like, you need to pay attention to that. That's a red flag. Okay. So that's just is what it is. Innovation and new systems. Yay. Finally, right? We need some new innovative things to happen. We already saw that boom with AI. I talked about how AI was going to take off in 2025, and it did. Put your britches on, guys, because AI, if we thought it took off in 2025, we ain't seen nothing yet. 2026 is going to be the epitome of AI. It's going to be the epitome. It's going to be so ingrained in everything we do. We may even start seeing like those a lot more self-driving cars. We might see like delivery trucks and drivers go away because they're starting to use drones to make deliveries now. I mean, the sky's the limit with this. Like they're going to really take it far. So just prepare yourself. That's a part of preparing yourself and making sure you have a plan to move forward for the year. Because if you lose your job or whatever, what are you going to do? So you have to just be prepared, right? And again, the independent path and personal brands are going to be on the rise this year. So like the corporations are going to fall. Like we already see corporations crumbling. I think we see more people kind of trying to work with each other and barter with each other more now than we have before. So I think we're going to get back to that. I think like the personal brands are going to do better, like the mom and pop shops are going to start to do better this year because people are getting tired of these corporations. They're tired of like spending all their money with these corporations. You don't get nothing out of it. And it's like, they're firing people to bring AI in. So, they have to be careful too about how they integrate that into the new reality. And again, things are going to be decentralized. So all these governments, these things are going to be affected. They're going to be affected. That's pretty much it. I think I do have more, but we're getting to an hour, and I don't really want it to go further than an hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run through the months and what they are, and then we'll go ahead and end this. And then what I'll probably do is another episode because I have some other things I want to talk about in regards to each month next year. We want to talk about those things astrologically. So we'll probably do a separate show for that. And then we're also going to have a separate show for our personal energy factor upcycle forecast. So if you're interested to know how not only the universal year is going to affect you, but how your personal year is going to affect you with that universal year. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube so you can get that personal energy forecast. Honestly, I have so much coming up for you guys this year. A lot of stuff that I worked on last year in my one personal year that I am excited to bring to you now in this new one universal year. So make sure you're tuned in and you are subscribed. So let's run through the month real quick. We won't go too deep into them because we're going to do another episode, but I do want to leave you with knowing with how the year actually unfolds through the months. Okay. So January starts off, it's a one universal year. It's going to be an 11/2 universal month. So that's going to be like a lot of innovative energy, a lot of creative energy, very creative, spiritual downloads. But there's going to be times that you need to rest. There might be some anxious, nervous tension in that first month. Okay. And then February is going to be a three universal month. So similar to how we just had a three universal month in December at the end of the year, February is going to be a very interesting time. It's going to be time for creativity, positivity, social networking, expanding your network. And that February also brings a lot of astrological transits that I did not get into here. But please make sure you tune in for that because I'm going to do a short video on that next. And we want to kind of look at how those things are affecting us in conjunction with the universal month, right? So it's really, really interesting. And then we get to March, which is a four universal month. Now, like I just told you guys, the beginning of the year is going to be that cusp energy. So from January to March, so from the 11 universal month of January to March, the four universal month, this is your time to make sure you're clearing out whatever you didn't clear out last year, like get it cleared out. Start working on clearing it out. Because when we get to March, you're entering to a four universal month. This is the month that you should be setting your foundation. Okay. March is also it's the real New Year's in the spring. It's a four universal month. So it's time to set a foundation. It's time to put the work in and set your foundation for how you want the rest of the year to fold. So this is what March is for, okay? Then when we get into April, that's going to be a five universal month. So there's going to be some changes that might be happening in April. There might be some dramatic change, some traveling opportunities, dealing with the public in some way, some new opportunities, some multi versatile opportunities might be coming your way. That's also going to be a month to have some fun. And then when we get to June, I'm sorry, I skipped May. Then when we get to May, May is going to be a six universal month. So that month is going to be time that we're going to kind of really, and May's Mother's Day. So that's perfect to be a six month because that's about home, family, and community, right? So Mother's Day, you want to make sure in May that you're dealing with your home and family and just balancing, doing the balancing act in May, looking at the first 4 or 5 months to see, how they went. What do you need to adjust? What do you need to balance? So that's going to be energy for May. And then when we get to June, that's going to be a seven universal month. June is going to be a month. It's going to be a month that you're going to prefer peace and quiet. It's a month that you should be really having your thoughts be more positive. You may not want to be surrounded by a lot of people that month. I know it's like the first month of summer, but energetically, spiritually speaking, it's going to be a out month. So you just want to keep that in mind for June. And then when we get to good old July, we're going to be in an eight universal month. And honestly, I think July is going to have a lot of fireworks and not all good ones. So July is a very tumultuous month that we need to really look at this year. And when I do the other episode, we can get more into that. But there's a lot of different transits going on in July that are going to affect things. They're going to affect our government's systems. They may affect us on a worldly global scale. So these are things that we need to make sure that we're paying attention to. And then when we get to August, it's going to be a nine universal month. So whatever you've been doing all year, you might want to look at it in August. You might want to end what you're doing that year, end it in August. transform it to a higher level that's going to be doing something for humanity. So these are the types of things that August is going to bring. We're also going to be having that solar eclipse in August. I didn't get into the transits here, so I'm just mentioning that shortly. So, there's going to be some identity level reset being done in August. So just some things to think about. And then as we head into September, again, that's going to be always showing us the same current energy we're in. So when we hit September, we're going to be in a one universal year and also a one universal month. You may really gain a lot of clarity in September. If you didn't get the clarity all year, September, it should be coming through to you like a ray of sunlight through the window, because that's going to be a double one energy. So you should really have some idea about the direction that you want to go in by that time. And then when we get to October, that's going to be an 11 universal month, which I just love that energy. It's the same energy that I'm actually going to be in, for this year in 2026. And it's also the preview season for 2027. So this is telling us that October as an 11 universal month, that's telling us that 2027 is going to be an 11 universal year. So October is always an interesting month to look at. We're going to have some retrogrades happening in that month. So it's going to be interesting. We'll get into that in another video. Again, make sure you're subscribed, because listen, I took a little hiatus in August when I was getting my clarity and I was kind of setting my foundation in my 1 year. But baby, I am back. And when I tell you I'm back, I'm back. I mean that. And we are going to get off the ground running. Nothing's stopping us. I would sing, but I won't do that to you. Um, so again, 11's October is an 11 universal month. And then when we get to November, that's going to be getting back to a 3 universal month. So again, in November, it's going to be a lot of creative energy, a lot of self-expression, abundance, time to create, time to network, finish writing your book, finish your screenplay, finish your album, things like that. This could be good energy in November to do. And then finishing off 2026 December, we're finishing the year with a 4 universal month. No, yeah, a 4 universal month. Sorry, I have so many numbers in my head. So we're finishing a year with a 4 universal month. So that means, putting the work in, laying a foundation and the groundwork for what we want to make sure that we bring with us into 2027. So that's the full year's forecast. I just really want to make sure that you guys know that this is a very important year. It's not just a regular reset for new beginnings, it's a reset for new creations. This is creative energy, it's spiritual energy, because it's a 10. So it's got that zero behind it. It's a Wheel of Fortune year. So our plans are likely to be carried out this year. I think that it's a perfect time for you to step out on your own and to really take a hold of your own life. And if you need help doing that, I am here for you. That's what I'm here for. I am a spiritual guide for you. So please reach out to me. If you want to text me on my moon line, you can do that at 302-492-7722. Just text me and tell me what your name is and then ask me whatever you want to ask me. If you don't want to do that, go to numeralytics.net. Go to the whammy calculator, pull your whammy up and see what your core numbers are. And then if you want to get a greater understanding of that, you reach out to me to get a session. Okay. And that's how we're going to work things. So I just really want to thank everybody who tuned into this live. Hopefully, I'll be seeing you on some other. This wasn't a live. I don't know why they said that. Thank everybody for tuning into this show. I will be having the other shows coming out probably periodically throughout the day today or throughout this weekend, okay? Because I don't want to overwhelm everybody, but we are going to be posting the shows up. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure that bell notification is hit for Numeralytics, because Queen B is bringing it to you. Listen, everything that I do for us, for the collective, okay? We are here to help raise the vibration of the people so your vibration can match the new frequency that the earth is heading into. You don't want to get left behind with that, because when you get left behind with that, those are the people who end up transitioning. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're keeping up your spiritual practices. You're at least getting an understanding of who you are and why you're here. And if you don't know that, that's what we're here for. So I just want to really thank everyone for tuning in. And again, let me put our sponsors back up on screen. I'm very appreciative of all of the sponsors that have worked with me through 2025 and some of the new ones that we have in 2026. And what you see here is what you're going to get unless other people want to be a sponsor. So again, we have the unread book review with Nick and Rue at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every other Saturday on YouTube at Mr. Westbrook's class and at Mawu Lisa 4610. So make sure you're subscribed. And then we have the Shasu Experience. She is a sound healing architect. You can catch her on YouTube under Numerology, and she's also on Instagram. Just look for the Shasu Experience. Okay. A lot of great things coming from that sister this year. And then we have, of course, we have our beautiful queen, Portia Cooper. She is the queen of the Soul Card Studio, and she wants you to be in alignment this year with your candle. Be in alignment, not burnout. Get your divine aligned candle in your journal today. So you can take a screenshot of that and scan that QR code. That'll get you 20% off. Or you can enter the code Queen Bee on her website to get the 20% off. So I want to thank Portia so much for her continued support. If you don't have the journals, these are my balancing elemental energy journals for fire signs, water signs, air signs, and earth signs. That is whether your sun, moon, or ascendant is in any of those signs, and it's got to be in one of them. And you can get this journal, and it's very helpful. It gives you all the significations of the sign. So it's very helpful to you. So I would appreciate it if you go pick that up. And then last, certainly not least, we have the Knowledge is Love Tribe community. This is a community page. There is a subscription fee, but it's well worth every penny that you'll spend. It is a loving community and it is a healing community. So I'm appreciative to Big E and his beautiful wife, Alana, and their beautiful family. So I want to thank them so much for everything that they do for everyone in the community. And without further ado, that is it. That's it, guys. That's what I have for 2026 so far, right? Because there is a lot more. Like I said, we're going to be doing the astrological transit breakdown. And then we're also going to look at the personal energy factors. So you're going to get your up cycle breakdown. And then we're also going to be doing the breakdown of actual January itself. Might be doing that one live this week. So stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed. I didn't even put a banner up. I don't need to do all that. I will just throw this up here so you can make sure you know how to get to numeralytics.net. So you can go ahead and get your whammy and get your universal. If you want to know what the universal energy is, I have a free universal energy calculator up there. So it'll give you the universal energy for any day you put in a calculator. That's completely free. Again, if you want your upcycle with that, make sure you want your upcycle with that, make sure you get the subscription for $5 a month. And then again, I didn't really show these, but these are the Astro-Numerology birthday cards. This is an Aquarius. These are on the site. So if you have someone with a birthday coming up, go to the site and get them a card. You can also get a bear with it. I don't have all of the bears loaded up there yet, but if there's a bear up there that you want, or a bear that you want with a birthday you don't see, let me know. Just text me on the moon line and I'll get it up there for you because I'm still working on that section. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Again, my name is Melinda. I'm also known as the Queen Bee. This is Numeralytics, and I want you to succeed. I want you to be successful. So make sure you're tuned in here with me, okay? Because we're going to be talking about things. I got a lot in store for us for 2026. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love you. Happy New Year to you. And make sure you act boldly and do things intentionally this year. Peace, love. Happy New Year. Happy 2026. Yay, we made it. Peace.